So we look at your setup with the drive. We said the ball needs to move forward slightly, so it's kind of more left of your centre. You can see these two green lines pretty much straight up there. How little they've moved forward there, racing in terms of your sort of your head or your hands, and obviously looking down here, the ball now relative to your left heel. It's probably moved forward about that much. It might feel more to you, I don't know, but it hasn't moved forward enough, or it hasn't moved forward much. But it's enough for me to say we can just stay there for a while, get used to that, and then just do a little bit further forward again, and a bit further forward again. I think in terms of the movement, obviously there's still going to be a little bit of leaning back as we come into it, because that's kind of something you do ingrained. We always find static changes a lot easier to make, because if I said, oh, move the ball there, move this foot back, move the hand under, okay, do that. It doesn't take a lot of effort and skill to just move a position statically. To swing a 3.5 foot metal object at 100 mile an hour and change something, it takes a bit of practice, okay? But if we can get that golf ball in the right position to start with, certainly loosen off that. I think there was a couple of times we sort of swung that golf club back, I can almost feel you gripping on quite tight, and I think when it goes wrong, obviously, the grip will get tighter. If the ball starts going all over the place and we're losing control, frustration is going to increase, and just natural frustration is going to get you like, oh, come on, I want the ball further, okay? Now, what will happen is if the club face aims, as it does, pretty much straight to target, where you're setting it there, it's a good start position now. As you go back, not for any other reason, just the fact you're creating a circle to the side, that club face now is going to open out. You're not rotating it, you're not twisting it, just the natural twist of your body and your torso would mean your club now is facing, in effect, over here. Now, because you create a good angle in your wrist, is usually at the top of the backswing, some of these lines, top of the backswing, you get the club in a very, very good position, really good set, you turn behind the golf ball. As you start coming back down now, you've still got this angle in the wrist, which is great. When you get into about here, so which now your hands get to that green line, and there's that sort of straightening or extending. So you've got a nice angle here with the wrist. As you come to the golf ball there now, you can see how when you get to about here, your hands are sort of just behind that green line. The club is way back here. The next frame, your hands move forward just a bit, and the club's down there, you see. Yeah. A very good swing. This is where the speed's going to come from. So you're accelerating that club from there to there. Now, a lot of people accelerate the club up here, trying to give it the old, give it some power and stuff, and they lose all the power down when the golf ball comes to be struck, because power up here is wasted if the ball's down here, yeah? And sometimes guys don't release it at all. They hold this angle through because they're gripping it so tight, and they just can't straighten the wrist. They go, and just sort of pull it through with sort of very rigid and stiff position. That can also obviously lead to topping or towing the golf ball. As we said, if you extend that club and the arm and the golf club back to impact, you maximise that length from shoulder to golf club end. If you hold an angle, you're going to shorten that length from shoulder to club head end, yeah? So therefore, when you come back to the golf ball, the club's going to be up here somewhere rather than down the golf ball, which then means you're going to top it all. And that may be why when you hit a few shots when the ball was further forward, you hit those ones off to the right there and move the ball back. Sometimes you sort of made, just move the ball back, see what happens. And the sort of the two rungs made a right, the ball's then going straight, happy days. But you've kind of cured something with a bit of masking tape. Over time, that masking tape's going to sort of wear out and then rip off, and you're back to the same foot again. And then you might change something else, or change the same foot again, more masking tape around it. It'll work for a little bit, but you're always going to be doing this, and then and this, and this, rather than here, and then there, and progressing with your game that way. So you can take your game to the golf course and start playing, getting off the tee, hitting it. 240 some of the ones there, okay? The pleasing thing was, and I always look at these sort of signs on the range, these blue signs, that's kind of the edge of the fairway. They're about 25, 30 yards apart from one 100 sign to the other 100 sign. So if your golf balls are ending up either in between those two or roughly on them, you're in the fairway. So that last one, the white line you can see, is a little bit high. I think the tee may have just risen up a little bit, so you put it a bit high on the club face, which is why the launch went a bit higher than we want to. But it's pretty much in the fairway. It's a good shot. It's gone for 200 yards, basically apart from a yard. It's getting in play. It's giving you a second shot to the green from basically green grass. I always say a successful tee shot, depending on the golfer, in your case I would say the sort of 175, 200s around your kind of threshold cap. If we could say you get over 175 with your tee shots and you've got a second shot with a full swing from grass, you've achieved a job. Okay, if you're chipping out of trees, you're in a bunker, you're in water, you're losing it. Doesn't matter if it's going 250, 150, 350. It's useless, isn't it? Okay, it's getting it to that distance at 175 to 200. It goes more than 200. Happy days. But all you've got to try and achieve with that driver, and that's where the speed and the technique's going to come in. If you're nice and loose, we can create that club head speed, get that speed up with the club, get the ball in play with the driver, hitting it straight. Okay, that kind of makes sense in that sort of sequence there, with a sort of softer grip enables that kind of extension and release of that club back to the ball. It's like a backhand slap. If I was sort of coming in, I wouldn't go and do this and just keep moving my elbow. I'm going to give something. Just that. Yeah, exactly. It's getting that sort of, and that's where the speed's going to come. Now, what happens when you do that? Because the club head at the top end here kind of changed direction, the club head swishes through. We associate the club going the other direction, so it must have slowed down. Well, it kind of has slowed down effectively. It's going this way, and the butt of the club twists this way. The bottom half flips through. So we feel the club sort of slowing down and stopping, and the end. And we go, when I swing it slower, it goes further. You're not swinging the club slow or the club head. You're swinging the butt end of the golf club and your body, and the end of the club where the ball's been struck with is whipping through with some speed. Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.